Good morning and welcome back to Open. Members of the general public, foster youth, and alumni, the child welfare advocates from across New York City's 5 boroughs will gather in Union Square South on Thursday, May 8th from 12 to 5 p.m. for We Deserve Love Too, in recognition of National Foster Care Month. Here to tell us more is the founder of Jamel Robinson Child Welfare Reform Initiative. Jamel Robinson, welcome, sir.
Thank you so much, Christina. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Can you tell us a little bit about your initiative?
Sure. The We Deserve Love Too campaign raises awareness to the need for good foster and adoptive homes for teens in the New York City foster care system. I know all too well the challenges of youth in care, having been in foster care my entire life. The truth of the matter is, the older a child gets, the more difficult it is indeed to find them placement. Right. And so I have been uniquely positioned to ensure that we do our best work as hard as we can to find stability for youth who are growing up in a system that with adequate support, they can thrive.
And so you said you've been in foster care your whole life. How do you think that you were able to overcome these difficulties yourself?
Well, I'm glad you asked. It wasn't without sleeping on trains and buses and going without food. It wasn't without going through, what most young people go through, whether it's, going through the juvenile justice system. It wasn't without going from foster home to foster home. The truth of the matter is that I understand that young people who grow up in care suffer from a unique set of circumstances, right? You're into care for whatever reason. Unfortunately, you're there. The system does the best they could to provide adequate care. But the truth of the matter is, sometimes you're not lucky, right? In that, finding good foster homes may not be a viable solution at one time or another. But the truth of the matter is, it was a very traumatic experience for me, and I think that I've learned, through it. You make some mistakes, and you get your footing. For me, I knew what it was not to have a steady foster and or adoptive family, not because no one didn't try, but the truth of the matter is it's difficult. Most foster parents are very apprehensive in taking in older teens, or, whether because you're set in your ways. And so this was an outlet, a conduit in which we could really raise awareness to this issue and really find that level of stability for them, that the young people like myself won't have to retreat to homelessness while in care or even after care, because they are connected to forever families.
And how did they become connected with your initiative?
Well, through other foster and or adoptive agencies. What we particularly do is just really outreach to the general public to raise that level of awareness. It's the first youth-led campaign of its kind in the history of New York City. That really advocates through whether it's ads on subways and buses, in which we'll be doing this year, whether it's through newspaper ads, whether it's through conversations with elected officials about reaching out to the constituency. That's how we kind of do our outreach. We engraft the young people in the effort as well, and they go out to really, various communities to kind of do recruitment.
So how many people do you have working with you on your initiative?
We have about, at this particular point, about 5 agencies who work hand in hand, and then we have various corporate partners and young people. We have on average about 50 young people that participate in our outreach initiative.
What's been the response you've gotten so far from the agencies when you first went to them and came up with this initiative and tried to get their support?
Well, I got to tell you that we had great support. We had the Children's Village, who just stepped up. We had Grand Wyndham, Children's Services, who stepped up. We have, just a litany of, organizations, You Gotta Believe, who, advocates each day to find, stable homes for teens. And the New York City Administration for Children's Services. I mean, I'm delighted to have them on board and who is committed to assisting us. The Dave Thomas Foundation for Adoption, the Wendy's Foundation. I mean, it's just amazing that they really have embraced this. I mean, they know, like I know, that we have to do all that we can to find stability for these young people, because they're gifted, they're talented, and they have abilities.
Potential. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely, and it's a joy. It's a joy because you know what? The truth of the matter is, like me, any young person in care throughout the 5 boroughs can thrive, can succeed. They are amazing. They just need that opportunity to find that stability, to find that family that's going to be willing to embrace them. Because their faith lies in the balance of that yes. Yes, I'll love you. Yes, I'll care for you. And yes, I will support you.
And your journey from one side to the other, from a child to an adult, and seeing both sides of the system, what do you think needs to be done to make it better?
Well, I think we just have to be able to build from the inside out, right? And that's work with existing foster parents to really provide them with the adequate support to encourage them to take in other teens. The other part is continue to do outreach, continue to raise awareness. And we as a community, we have to get around this, right? We have great support, I have to say we have, support from Macy's. We have support from all these various corporations, the TJX companies. We have this litany of support that is now, providing us with the resources to do the outreach. But I think it's about educating the entire community, whether that's elected officials, whether that is, foster care agencies, on best practices of outreach, whether that is reaching out to, faith-based community to encourage them to get involved and reach out to their parishioners. I mean, that's really the goal, right? Is to do as much outreach and say, these young people, come on, we have to open the doors. We have to support them.
What's the most common misconception that you've received when you've told these people about your initiative and about teens in foster care?
I think what it is, it's just with,
Teenagers are hard to deal with.
Yeah, they're hard to deal with.
They have attitudes.
No. I think what it is that they're older, right? So you can't really mold them. Everyone wants to take it. The little
cute factor is gone.
Absolutely. And I just think that, young people, I mean, I got to tell you, in this work, you find that, these are young people that just want to be loved, just want to be supported. And I believe like this, that if you love them, if you support them, if you can provide a foundation for them, they'll thrive at whatever age. I think the apprehension is, wow, they older, I can't,
they're not going to listen
put
to
my
me
touch. Oh yeah, absolutely. Right. I can't, yeah. And I think that's just, I think that's not necessarily true. Right. Because I've seen teens who are, who do communicate well, who, are receptive to love and nurturing and development, sure.
And so we spoke about earlier that there's supposed to be some sort of event. Can you tell us a little bit about that from 12 to 5?
Sure. Yeah. On May 8th, we are doing our second annual foster care awareness rally, which hopefully would, help us galvanize, the community together around this issue about finding stability for teens. And I hope that through this event and outreach efforts alike throughout the month, in commemoration of National Foster Care Awareness Month, we'll be able to, hopefully raise that awareness. And the New York Stock Exchange has been very helpful and affording us the opportunity to, ring the bell, like Wall Street Orange, in commemoration of National Foster Care Awareness Month. And I think those things are very helpful in helping us raise awareness because people see those things and they see the cause.
That's wonderful. Sure. So does that explain the orange tie?
Absolutely. Orange represents hope. It's resilience. It's life.
I didn't know that. Orange represents hope. That's good to know.
Absolutely.
Great. Thank you so much for joining us.
Pleasure.
We have to take a quick break, but when we return, we'll find out about a program working to help women succeed. So stay tuned.